Hey, this is Jules, and I'm your host of the Jules J Show. Hey everyone, I'm your host Jules of the Jules J Show. Thanks for tuning in. If you've missed any of my previous episodes, you can definitely go to trackcats.com, click on the video tab, and you'll see all the other ones. You can also check us out, the entire family, on YouTube. We have a YouTube page, One Track Cats. And that actually will show all of the Jules J Show as well as different artists that's on the Track Cats label. So let's go ahead and get into our topic that we're going to discuss. Recently, we've all heard about Detroit going bankrupt. They're filing bankruptcy, which is kind of sad to say because at one point it used to be such a booming city. But just think about it. If Detroit can file bankruptcy, what makes you think that no other city in America can go through such, trying times and financial difficulties and have such a huge decline in the residents and the businesses and things like that? I was just reading in the news where they are getting ready to start selling things and attractions in the city of Detroit just to make up or to get some money for their deficit. They're talking about selling a zoo. I've never heard of somebody publicly saying, hey, we're going to sell the zoo to make some money. That's just crazy to me, but that just shows you, what type of situation that city is in. And just let's give a little, feedback about, the city of Detroit. At one point, this city had approximately 1.8 million residents. Now it's barely above 700,000. And I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of residents in that 700,000 that would like to move and, start over and try a different city and get on their feet, but probably just financially cannot. So, from 1.8 million to a mere 700,000, that is a huge decline. It at one point was the fourth largest city in America. And now look at it. Look what's happening to the city of Detroit. Unemployment is a huge issue currently. The unemployment rate is 16.3%. And that's based off of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. 16.3% in the city of Detroit are unemployed. No wonder it's filing bankruptcy. If people are not working in the city and earning money and taking their earnings and spending it back within their community, how is that community going to thrive? How is that city going to survive without, that return on investment, that flow of, cash through the residents and the business and things like that? It's not. In 1950, there was approximately 300,000 manufacturing jobs. Today, there's roughly 25,000. So you go from 300,000 to 25,000. That's 275,000 jobs that are no longer existing within that city. Almost 80,000 homes are abandoned. So with that abandoned homes, that comes a lot of, I'm pretty sure, drug activity, is bringing the depreciation down on the other homes in the neighborhood, things like that. So once again, if this can happen to the city of Detroit, what makes you think it can't happen to other places? I live in Atlanta and, thank God that we're not in that situation today, but that doesn't mean in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now that it can't be like that. So, with that being said, the question is, how did Detroit get like this? What happened for this? It didn't happen overnight. It took several decades for it to get like that. But I think one of the huge issues for Detroit and something else that will affect a lot of other cities across America is outsourcing of the jobs. Outsourcing, employment opportunities to different countries when we can have those same jobs right here in America and we could be thriving. We could, have a strong supply and demand, and not only that, have a strong sense of, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to buy made in American stuff, but that's simply not the case. And the reason why this kind of stuck out to me is because recently my son opened something and it said made in China, and my son said, Mama, it seems like everything's made in China. And I couldn't even argue with him because very rarely do we open something or do we see something that says made in America. Yet Why can't it? We have some very qualified, smart, hardworking, willing to work, want to work individuals right here in the United States, yet we're outsourcing. And for y'all individuals that don't understand what outsourcing is or why people outsource, it's to lower operation and labor costs. At the end of the day, it's going to be cheaper to take, a business overseas to produce a product. That's all it is. It's money. So you rather pay individuals at a cheaper rate over in a community and let them take their money that they're earning and put back into the community versus taking care of your own backyard, so to speak, taking care of, your neighborhoods and your communities here. You'd rather take it somewhere else. For example, China offers companies a goodie package, and a lot of other places do too, to relocate. And that includes tax breaks, low rental costs for land, and utility costs are relatively low as well. I get that. I understand that. But I guess I look at it as a longevity thing. Over long term, are you going to keep filtering that money into another country? Or are you going to start taking care of your country that you're actually from and you live in, and it's going to be prosperous for when your kids and your grandkids and your great-grandchildren are out there working and trying to survive? Are you going to keep outsourcing stuff so when your family's growing, they're living okay because you've sitting here and done things across the seas? So that's a huge thing for me. So let's go ahead and get in some of the statistics. 78% of Americans would rather buy an American good or American-made product, according to Consumer Reports National Research Center. 60% stated that American goods were of higher quality. So you know that if something's made in America, it's going to be of higher quality. You're not going to have to keep buying the same thing over and over and over because, it's tearing up. It's whatever the case may be. Americans take pride in what we do. We take pride in who we are, and we want to be able to display that. More than 60% of Americans stated that they would pay 10% higher prices, and 25% said they would pay 20% higher costs for an American-made good. So business owners, listen to what Americans are saying. If you would make American-made products, they would actually pay more for that because it's American-made. So if you're trying to make money, look at what we're sitting here telling you as an American. Also, according to the Boston Consulting Group, over 60% of Chinese respondents stated that they would buy an American-made product over the Chinese version. So, yet you're outsourcing over here to China and Indonesia and things like that. But 60% of those Chinese said, hey, even though we're making this product here, I'd rather buy the American-made product of the exact same thing. What does that tell you? Obviously, the quality that we're putting into what we do and the craftsmanship is what's screaming to individuals all across the world that it's great, it's good, and we'd rather pay more for that. And we'll be able to pay for more for those products because our jobs are here. You're not sending these jobs somewhere else. We're actually spending the money that we earned back into our community. So we'll be able to pay higher prices. That's something to really think about if you're a business and you're sending, jobs overseas. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, American manufacturing lost 6 million jobs between 2000 and 2010. 6 million jobs they lost in the manufacturing business. And a lot of those were because they were outsourced overseas. You basically have put, a huge dent into the economy and, to the pride of being an American because you chose the cheaper route. You choosing to be cheap over quality. That's crazy. It's an old saying, it's quality, not quantity. And I think a lot of times people up in, the higher businesses really need to understand that. Another thing is customer service positions. This is one that really irks me because when I call a customer service line and the other person that picks up the phone, they may have a cheery voice. They may be, overeager to assist me. But if I can't understand what you are saying, then it really does neither one of us any good. You're getting paid to answer phones and nobody understands what you're saying, and I'm getting frustrated on the other end because I can't communicate with you. I don't understand why you're going to outsource, customer service jobs and things of that nature when you're dealing with American clientele, and yet we can't understand what is being said. And so there's a breakdown. There's a communication breakdown. People get frustrated, and I'd rather just not deal with you at all because I can't understand you. It says the India and Philippines combined employ about 750,000 call center employees to service Americans. If that doesn't say it in a nutshell, why can't you take that same amount of jobs, call center jobs, put them in on American soil, let an American talk to an American, or at least let me understand somebody that speaks English clearly without there being a disruption in that communication. And I'm pretty sure that you would see a huge boost in, a lot of things. And not only that, a lot of times when you outsource customer service jobs, they don't understand our culture over here. We don't understand their culture over there. So they might be short and curt. And to me, that is being rude because I'm calling you. I'm the customer. Yet to you, you don't understand why there's a breakdown. Well, I can't understand you. That's the breakdown. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry. And I don't want to email somebody. I want to be able to talk to somebody. I want my issue to be cleared up ASAP and keep it moving, but you can't do that. So now also let's just talk about in 2010, wages and benefits for manufacturing jobs in the U.S. was on average 34.74 cents per hour. And like I said, that's average according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. In China, it's $1.36 an hour in 2008. So even though there's a couple years discrepancy, you can see that there's still a huge difference. So that is a big reason why so many, businesses are going overseas, because check out the labor costs. Like it's nothing. There's no way that anybody in America can survive off $1.36 average in a wage. What are we going to eat? I'm not a ramen noodle type of chick. I'm not, hey, let's have rice every night type of chick. I'm not, how you can't even feed kids and, transportation and things like that. But overseas, it's not as expensive. And also understand that, with overseas, you always have to kind of look into, the labor laws. There's been a lot of stuff in the news throughout history about children working or, inhumane conditions where these people are working. It's extremely hot or it's extremely cold or it's dirty or they work long hours, the elderly, things like that. So that's everything that needs to be taken into account when you're outsourcing these jobs overseas. Also, what are the conditions like? Over here in America, we actually there's some standards. We understand that we're not going to sit here and work in 120 degrees with no AC. That's just, it's not going to happen. So we have to be mindful of that. And now that India actually has a lower compensation than China does. So how can you even go below $1.36 is, besides me, like that befuddles me. But at the same token, I'm an American and I believe that these jobs should be in America, and therefore we should be able to take care of our own. Our economy shouldn't be in the dire straits that it is due to, the big companies want money in their pockets, so they're going to go find cheap labor. That's crazy to me. There are several things that are made in America, and that's just something for you to kind of be mindful. Several foreign automobile makers are now producing cars in the U.S., such as BMW, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. So that is kind of nice. You are actually, you do have foreign companies that are looking to, make products in the United States because we take pride, like I said, in what we do. There's quality craftsmanship. We execute things in the manner that it should be done. So that is something to take into account. Whirlpool is in the middle of making a 5-year, $1 billion investment in the U.S. for plants, faculties, and equipment. So that's definitely a huge thing. And we definitely need as many major corporations and companies to start implementing, factories and businesses and things like that within, the United States, so we can go ahead and see a turnaround in our economy. If you want to know about products made in America, you can check out MadeInAmericastore.com. This website offers 100% USA top quality products ranging from toys, clothes, food, gifts, home, and outdoors. So once again, if you're looking for someplace to buy American-made products, go to www.madeinAmericastore.com and they will have a variety of different things that you can actually choose from. So how do we bring the jobs back to America? That's a huge question. We got to continue being a leading innovation company. You know, we need to retain and train a highly skilled labor force. How else are we going to be competitive? How else are we going to bring those jobs back to where they should be? Not only that, but we need to make sure that our education system is trained the best. Not keep allowing, individuals to get their visas, come over here, get our education, and take that knowledge back to their countries. But we need to make sure that we are training our students, our kids, from the time they hit pre-K all the way through college, that to utilize that knowledge and that information and keep it here in the United States. So with that being said, like I said, Detroit can happen anywhere across America, but now that Detroit is in the situation that it is, we need to be mindful across the nation of how to not have a Detroit Junior. Once again, my name is Jules J. If you have any questions, you can hit me up at julesj1878@gmail.com. Also, if you know somebody in your community, your neighborhood, your church, your work, your business that's doing something positive, we're going to start highlighting somebody on a monthly basis that's actually doing, positive things in the community. So I'll definitely want to know their story and how to contact them, and then we'll select one person on a monthly basis that will receive the gift from me, Jules J. So once again, hit me up. I would love to hear all these stories about people doing positive things. Stay tuned for the next show. Jules J.